Pete Moore, welcome to PCM Guns. Today I've got something from Bergara on their B14 system. I've got to say that of all the companies I've ever seen that make rifles, Bergara have pushed their B14 pretty much every direction possible. Basically, it's an improved Remington 700 action. So what have we got here? It's got a rifle called the Stoke, which is a very strange name. Then again, you could have called it Milton Keynes, I don't know, but as usual, most of the innovation from Bergara, though made in Spain, comes from their US distributor, Bergara USA. And this one is a little bit different. It's standard B14 action. It's a short action for only short action calibers. And it's been designed to be a small rifle. As you can probably see, it looks quite compact. I'll photograph it next to my MO3. But the rifle comes standard from the box with a 12.5-inch length of pull, which for my great gorilla arms and many people is very, very short. But I'm not the target market. The target market is probably young shooters and those of small stature, for that probably women. The rifle, bare-backed, weighs around 6 pounds given the caliber, and they come in 2 barrel lengths. This is a 16.5-inch version in 223 Rem, and there's 2 more is in 300 Blackout and the other in 350 Legend. So you get these 3 compact rifles as such, and then you get what could be termed as a little bit less compact. But basically what they've done, they haven't made a micro receiver. What they've done, they've shortened the stock, so you have the same effect but you're using a standard action, which is quite clever. Fortunately, the rifle comes with 3 spacers, so basically it's a 12.5-inch pull from the trigger to the rubber butt pad, and the 3 spacers make it a 13.5-inch pull. Still quite short. I've put them all on here, and I can shoot the rifle reasonably well, but barrels, should we say, light, medium, quite heavy on the reinforce, stumpy. It's threaded 5/8 by 24 UNEF, which seems to be quite a mighty thread for what is quite a slim barrel. As standard, the rifle comes with Bergara's usual fine bottom metal, which you see in the B14 HMR. Magazine capacity, depending on caliber, again differs. So in 223 it's 6+1, same as 300 Blackout and 350 Legend, and in the other calibers, which is 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, 243 Win, 22-250, 708 Rem is 4, and in what they call their Magnum caliber, which is 6.5 PRC, precision rifle cartridge, that's a 3-shot. But then again, PRC is quite a mighty round, and in a 6-pound rifle with a 20-inch barrel, I think that might be a little bit overkill, I don't know. The stock is synthetic, it's not massively solid like you'd find on an HMR or something of that nature. The butt is completely hollow. The material is covered in like a textured rubber with an over web of, looks like a dark yellow, looks very attractive. The fore end is reasonably rigid, but then again it's probably about 2 inches shorter than the standard rifle, so it should be. Comes with QD sling studs here and here, so you can put a bipod on if you want. Trigger is adjustable from 1 kilogram to 2 kilograms, which is 2.2 to 4.4 pounds. This came out of the box, set at lightest. As ever with the Bergara, it's a beautifully crisp release, no drag, no nothing. And if you want to tickle it, you can. You just take the action out of the stock. There's a single screw at the front, which adjusts the weight, dead simple. As usual, you've got the angle back, longer bolt handle with a tapered knob, again, which is good for operation. There's a cocked action indicator pin at the back, you can see it. Bolt release is on the left of the receiver, and it has a rolling what I call a Remington type safety. Basically, you're safe there with bolt operation. There's a white dot shown, flick it forward, boom, red dot shown, simple as that. It is an interesting little rifle. I don't know how much take-up there'll be in the UK, because we don't have the same amount of sort of youth shooters that the Americans do. I mean, basically, with my daughter when she was 15. Legally, I could take her hunting or shooting and she could borrow my rifles, but only at that age of 15. Now, in the UK, she couldn't own a farm certificate at that age, and I'm wondering how many people would bother buying this rifle for a youngster, given the fact they might not carry on shooting. It might appeal to female shooters or those of smaller stature. I mean, the calibres are all there, but again, in a 6-pound rifle in 308, it could be a little bit jumpy. I think the Creedmoor is going to be the one that people will look at if they want a reasonable calibre. But however, when you think about this in Creedmoor at 20 inches, you've got to bear in mind, will it make large deer legal? Because the 6.5, it's like the Swedish and the Creedmoor, they are quite badly affected by much shorter barrels. Not such an issue in the USA, but over here it could be. So I think, though the Creedmoor seems a logical choice for recoil and everything, I think if I was going this route, I'd get a 308 because that is very tolerant of short barrels. Overall, the rifle's typically nicely presented. I've stuck on a 0 MOA Tier 1 Picatinny rail on top. This is my old Night Force 3 to 50 M56 with the 0 stop turrets. It's quite old now, but still a very serviceable scope. But again, this is for testing. In the field, I would not put a big scope on this rifle like this because it rather defeats the object. A little sort of 3 to 9 by 50, that sort of ilk. So you can save yourself about a pound in weight, same with the moderator. But again, I would probably get myself a muzzle mounted can, just nice and short. And the whole idea of this rifle is, in my opinion, it's built to be small, it's built to be light. And really, you need to keep it that way if you're going to get value for money. And on that point, value for money is very, very impressive. Cost is $749, which I think is pretty good given the average price these days. And it's Bergara, so you know it's quality, you know it's going to shoot straight. So the 223 gun is 1 in 9 twist, which is probably quite a safe mood. 1 in 8 for a little bit tight for heavier bullets, so 1 in 9 could do it. Length is 35 inches, so weight is 6.2 pounds, and it is a tiny little rifle. Okay, ammo wise, dug out a cross section. Some of it's match type target ammo, but it's the weights I'm interested in more than anything else. Starting off with your classic. This is Norma tip strike, small game, 55 grain ballistic tip. Should do foxes well, should do mudjack, small deer very well, that sort of thing. A great little round all over, and it should hopefully handle the 1 in 9 twist pretty well. A little bit lighter is Remington's Premier AccuTip against a ballistic tip. That's at 50 grain, so that's going to be rocking on a bit faster. We'll have to see. Lightest and fastest of all is 35 grain NTX, which is a non-lead. It's a tiny little ballistic tip again. And that, according to Hornaday, is coming out at 4,000 feet per second. Ouch, that's quick. I doubt if it will be anywhere near that with this barrel. However, it's a pure varmint round, it's very light, so I'm not sure if it's going to handle the 1 in 9 twist, because usually with lighter 2 to 3 type bullets, twist rate needs to go up. 1 in 12, maybe 1 in 14, and the old 222 should come in 1 in 14, purely for the lighter bullets. Okay, there you have some basic hunting rounds. This is Hornaday's 68 grain boat-toed hollow point match. 68 grain is actually quite a nice weight in 223, and you can get expanding ammunition for it as well. So with this, it may be a tad heavy for the twist, we'll have to see. Same in PPU, they do some excellent 223 Rem match ammunition. This is their 75 grain hollow point boat tail. Basically it's a Sierra style bullet, and I'm guessing this will be a little bit heavy for it. However, we'll have to see.
Okay, now the fun bit. I've stripped this back to basics, so no moddy. A 3 to 10 by 50 calibres, and they're quite light, low mounted, which I think gives the best of the rifle in terms of the handling it offers. So, load up. Though it says 6 in the box, it will take 7 rounds if that's any good to anybody. So mag goes in, locks in, safety's on. Okay, as ever with the Bergara, nice feed, everything works well, safety's nice, trigger's good. I'm 6'1", quite a big guy. That's the only thing I do feel at this rifle, even with the extended butt. It feels a little bit cramped, but it's still very usable.
Okay, final thoughts and scores on the doors. First of all, this is a really neat and handy little rifle. I put my old Carlis Heller 10x50 on it, which in terms of the concept of the rifle, light, handy and short, is pretty much what you would put on it. And even the bipod on it, it's very handy, pointable, carryable, and the right smaller body would be excellent. Length of pull isn't such an issue as I thought it was, though again, I'd still like a bit more because I was have to move my head around a bit. Action's fine, reliable, good feed from the magazine dumps easily. 4-inch surprisingly rigid, then again it's shorter so there's less flex on the material. Stock's a bit noisy. Trigger's good. I like it, but I'm not sure how the UK shooting community will take this rifle. It's a proven recipe, the B14. Nobody can criticise that. It's just an absolute success story. Great rifle, great pricings, as we've seen from many reviews in the past. But it's the old thing, what would you do with it? I think I wouldn't want to shoot on a 6.5 PRC. I think that's going to be very stonky. 308 probably similar, but given barrel length and things, and 308 does make a lot of sense. But it's a short rifle, so you just work it out. But it's clever. Okay, so first of all, ammo-wise. As I surmise, some of the loads just didn't want to play. The 68 grain boat-tail hollow point Hornaday match and the 75 grain boat-tail hollow point PPU match. The PPU shot 3.5 inches off the bench at 100, and the Hornaday about 2 and a bit. Just way too heavy for the twist, which didn't surprise me. At the other end of the scale, and I put the group in, the 35 grain NTX, the Hornaday varmint load, which was cracking along, that was doing about 1.5 inches, again, of no real use. It's down to the twist. So, what we've got here, of the ones that work well, would be Remington's 50 grain AccuTip, velocity high 3190, low 3174, average 3181, with a whacking standard deviation of 80 feet per second. That is enormous. Energy was 1133 and the group was 0.665. Both of those well within woodjack, fox and Chinese water, the illegal, no problem at all. Norma tip strike was high 2918, low 2896, average 2904 with an SD of 11.9, which is pretty good. Energy was 1038 foot-pounds and the group was 0.579. Again, very respectful. Roughly, you could call both those groups roughly half inch, with the Norma just acing the Remington. The Super Performance NTX, the varmint one, was high 3583, low 3549, average 3570, with an SD of 18.5. Again, not too scabby. And the group was 1.462, which is a tad on the large side. Okay, you probably hit a fox with it at 100, but at 200 yards, you think that that group would increase to 3 inches, maybe more. And you know what foxes are like to kill, their buggers. Okay, of perhaps more interest, and the instance of having a short 16.5 inch barrel, which is short. Remington 50 grain AccuTip, they quote 3,300 feet per second and an energy of 1,220 foot-pounds. As I said before, that was 3181 average and 1133 foot-pounds. So a bit down. The Norma quote quite a high 3215, which I was expecting around that figure, and 1,240 foot-pounds. average from the 16.5-inch tube was 2904, which is just do the math. That's quite a chunk of velocity drop with an energy of 1038. Right, what do they quote for the 35 grain varmint NTX load? 4,000 feet per second, which is blistering, and the guns will get near that. I had a 223 barrel on my MO3 at one stage, and that'll do about 3,800. Very fast, perhaps not good for the barrel, with an energy quota of 1,276. From the gun with the barrel, it's 3570, which is still cracking on, with an energy of 1,010 foot-pounds. So you can see, if you say your average 223s or varmint gun is anywhere between 20 and 22, by losing about 3.5 inches, 6.5 inches depending, you do lose a fair bit of energy and velocity, which is the balance you've got to make. Really, for my needs, this barrel is too short. It might work well in 300 blackout because that's quite a short range cartridge, and I've never fired or used Legend, and I don't think anybody in the UK will bring 350 Legend in because it doesn't seem to offer a huge amount. But there you go, that's my view on it. Nice rifle, works well, handy, light, pointable, carryable, but you know, unless you really are someone of small stature, you've really got to think about buying it, even though the price is great. Okay, that's it. So, if you like that, tell your mates. If you want to speak to me, it's pmoore.shootingsports@gmail.com. Support the channel. And as always, tune in because there'll be more stuff coming out all the time. And as ever, have fun, shoot safe, be safe. I'll catch you later.